Good evening. I'd like to call our business meeting to order. Ms. Doyle, I believe you have the honors for the evening.
Sure. Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight as we are closing in our holiday season. So good to see everybody here. Yep. We request that all cell phones and pagers be turned to vibrate or turned off during the course of this meeting. And it has become a tradition to honor our nation in each of our board meetings by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and remain standing for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on our agenda is our superintendent's report. Dr. Boone.
Good evening, Mr. Jordan. Good evening, Mr. Jordan, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in December and very excited to be able to share our monthly video as it relates to happenings within Norfolk Public Schools. Some very exciting things that you'll see now, and as I always do, I'm sincere in my appreciation to Dr. LeGrand and all in the communications department and Channel 47 who put together these outstanding videos so we can showcase the great things that are going on in Norfolk. So I ask that we show the video now, please.
Norfolk Public Schools recognized Computer Science Education Week by getting students in every grade level involved with the International Hour of Code. This event is designed to expose students to coding and make them aware of possible career paths related to computer science. Even our youngest students experience coding, as 3- and 4-year-olds at Berkeley Compostela Early Childhood Center got their first taste of computer science. These preschoolers utilized several programs, including one that enabled them to use coding to control the path of a ball.
Coding is critical as part of the foundation of developing cognitive ability. We believe that we have to prepare our children for college beginning in pre-K and for the job opportunities of the future. We want our boys and girls to be globally competitive, so that we believe that coding should be integrated in our curriculum throughout the day.
Coding at this age is extremely important. It prepares them to be ready for the workforce for the 21st century. Right now, they're learning all the skills they'll need to be able to compete globally. I don't care what country they go to, they'll be able to find a job in technology.
At the Academy of International Studies at Rosemont, middle school students did their coding in the form of games. Although they were having fun, these 6th graders were also using problem-solving skills and logic to get the game to respond to their commands.
We're doing block coding where we take drag out blocks and we try to fix the game to actually get to our goal. And right now we're trying to get the squirrel from Ice Age to get to the nut without making him fall or go into the water.
Kids enjoy coding. It's taking what they learn in math and science class and problem solving, putting it all together, and it makes it fun. So anytime the kids have fun, they look at it as solving problems in a video game, and from the outside, it's they're writing code. They're writing the computer programs and writing the games.
Meanwhile, students in the digital marketing class at Granby High School faced a different set of challenges as they spent their hour of code building web pages for advertising purposes. Nearly everything about this lesson was very different from a standard marketing class.
It's a little challenging because it's more hands-on. It's not traditional lecture or anything like that. They go in and do. One of the things that it teaches them is problem solving. When the code doesn't work, they have to go in. English calls it proofreading. We call it debugging. So it could be one letter off, one comma off, one semicolon off. If that is not right, they have to identify it and fix it.
Sometimes it gets complicated. You get a little aggravated because it doesn't really do everything that you want it to do. So you have to go back and make sure you copied everything right, or put the right command words and different punctuations and stuff.
I never thought it would be something I would do because I'm not a very technical person. I'm more just textbook and paper and pencil, but it's definitely made me realize that there are other opportunities out there for me, and it's never too late to start.
This year's specialty program showcase was split over 2 nights, with high schools presenting their programs on one night and middle schools a week later. The events, which were held at Norview High School, attracted a total of nearly 800 people, and both evenings began with formal presentations of each program in the auditorium. Following the presentations, students and their parents were able to get more information and speak with individuals directly involved with the program so they could make informed choices about their futures.
I'm trying to figure out which main programs I like the most and which will go with my career choice. I like the Blair Medical Program because I want to be a neurosurgeon when I grow up. I think it's a good opportunity for me to look around and other people as well.
Advanced art students from Norfolk Public Schools visited Old Dominion University for an exclusive tour of their art facilities. Thanks to this unique partnership, these high school students were able to see numerous classrooms, labs, and studios within the new Berry Arts Building. They also got the opportunity to talk directly with professors and students from different concentration areas and ultimately visualize what life could look like for them after graduation.
Oh, I think that they're super interested. I mean, how could they not be? They're seeing equipment for the very first time that they've never seen before, and especially, for instance, the painting studio upstairs. Like, we're actually witnessing students painting using easels and using palettes to mix their paint on, and that's just not something that we use in all of the high school classrooms. And so they're really getting to see what it looks like to independently work at a higher education level.
It's a big opportunity because it's more in depth. It's like you actually see the department that you want to start or the major you want to start and how it will look like, instead of just looking on the screen and just like, oh, it's nice. And you just can look around, see actual people and actual classes and everything and how everything works, and so it's very in depth.
I'm really thankful, this is so much different from just your usual college tour where you're in a group of 30 kids. It's a lot more personal. We had the opportunity to speak with professors and to go and see things up close. This isn't, some sort of website advertisement video. This is real and personal.
At the conclusion of Virginia College Application Week, Norview High School held their second annual College Application Week Jubilee. During this event, Greek organizations from Old Dominion University, cheerleaders from Norfolk State University, and Norview's very own drumline performed for students, many of whom had already been accepted to colleges and awarded scholarships.
I think it's very important because it encourages students to, make sure that students they see stuff like this and they want to get involved and it's fun. So it's like, oh, what's that going on? And it encourages them to do stuff like fill out applications and stuff like that.
After reading The Lemonade War, fourth grade students at the Academy for Discovery at Lakewood decided to have their own lemonade war for charity. For this project-based learning activity, students were split into teams, with each having the goal to make the most money as they sold lemonade and snacks during lunch. The idea for the fundraiser came from the students themselves, and their enthusiasm for the assignment was obvious.
So our students wanted to do a lemonade stand and they wanted to donate the money. So we chose 3 charities. We've got the food bank, we've got the SPCA, and we have Alex's Lemonade. The students did research. They wrote letters to the companies or to the charities and explained why they wanted to donate to their charity. They had a week to come up with marketing strategies and what they wanted to sell. So they did that. They signed up for time slots and now they're selling and raising lots of money and going to donate it to their charities.
It's really awesome. I love it. Like, my friends get to join together and we get to sell food, like ring pops and other stuff. You're helping somebody and they're gonna acknowledge it because helping animals, helping people get better at cancer and stuff, it's better because you get to help them.
Students at Tarrallton Elementary crowded the halls waving their flags and singing as they honored local members of the military, both past and present, during their annual Veterans Day parade. Following the parade, the veterans were treated to a delicious breakfast at the Tarrallton Recreation Center, which was served to them by students and staff.
Well, this kind of day is perfect for our students because our vision here at Tarrallton is to encourage students to develop a love of learning and solve problems and overcome challenges while learning to contribute to the community. So this is a perfect example of putting their hands on those service pieces of being a contributor to the community. It helps them as they learn how to decide for themselves. You know, a lot of our military connected students look at military careers in the future so they can see how they're going to solve the problems of finding a job and a career in the 21st century. So it's a wonderful opportunity for them to see and connect with their parents and their families who are service members, but also see other members of the community who serve and serve the community back themselves as a great experience.
For more news stories and other information about Norfolk Public Schools, watch NPS Now on WNPS-TV 47 or the NPS website.
I hope you gleaned from this particular video where you're seeing evidence of the focus of the district in our redesign around leadership, literacy, rigor, and innovation. Because as we expose our students to coding and thinking about careers of the future and making sure that underrepresented populations in the various career fields around coding and technology have an opportunity to begin to think about that. We see evidence of both the college and the career readiness through this, as well as that community service and that civic piece of how do we give back. So we're very proud of how our schools are embracing our focus around leadership, literacy, rigor, and innovation, and we will continue to raise the bar on the opportunities and the outcomes for our students. So thank you for allowing me to share this month.
Thank you, Dr. Boo. Next on our agenda is school board monthly observances. Ms. Banks. Sir.
Thank you. We have one observance this month, National Mentoring Month, that will be recognized in January 2018. It was launched in 2002 by Mentor, the National Mentoring Partnership, and the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. National Mentoring Month focuses national attention on the need for mentors, as well as how each of us, individuals, businesses, government agencies, schools, faith communities, and nonprofits can work together to increase the number of mentors to help ensure positive outcomes for our young people. This campaign celebrates mentoring and the positive effect it can have on young lives. Its goals are to raise awareness of mentoring in its various forms, recruit individuals to mentor, especially in programs that have waiting lists of young people, and to promote the rapid growth of mentoring by recruiting organizations to engage their constituents in mentoring. So we recognize this proclamation on the consent agenda for January 2018. Thank you.
Any questions or comments at all about National Mentoring Month, other than I know it's been one of our ongoing goals as a board and division to make sure that we're constantly recruiting and requesting that individuals serve as mentors within our schools. And so I think it's more than appropriate for us to highlight that this month and look forward to actively recruiting and encouraging folks to come forward during the month of January and get engaged and partner with us in Norfolk Public Schools. So thank you for that. Next on our agenda is citizens' comment on agenda and non-agenda items. This is a time where members of the public may come forward. We will provide each individual who is interested in addressing the board for a 3-minute period. We ask if you would just come forward. When your name is called to the podium, you may adjust the podium. We ask if you would obviously share your name, but if there's any other relevant information that you would like to share with the board, please do. You may provide any written statements to the clerk, and she'll make sure that we receive copies of that. And then, as I said earlier, you'll have 3 minutes. We just ask that when your time is up, if you're still speaking, if you would wrap up your comments, and the board does not respond to the comments at the time that they are given. With that, Ms. Banks, do we have any members of the public who would wish to address the board?
Yes, Chairman Jordan, we have one speaker, and that is Ms. Mary Simpson Jones.
Good evening, school board, Rodney Jordan, and other distinguished people within the audience. As you know, or some of you may not know, my name is Mary Simpson Jones, and I have been very active with Norfolk Public School. I'm an alumni of Norfolk Public School. I am here tonight based on the Freedom of Information Act pertaining to principals who did write me up pertaining to my character, my intelligence, and my integrity. And I feel like the administration, they whispered, they conspired, they fabricated about me, and some of them has come to the word, they just told lies. I feel like Mr. Billups was a part of it, and I was wondering what is the protocol when you do a rebuttal to the write-ups. Also, when individuals are investigated, who makes the deciding vote? And how is that vote decided? I did a Freedom of Information Act, and with this person being the Human Resource Director gave me completely wrong information. I don't know whether he's a visual learner or a hands learner or verbal learner, but I was given the wrong information. I just found out today that the person who handles the Freedom of Information Act was out, and no one told me. I kept calling every day, leaving a message. What does that say about communication? Should I have to wait till January with something I asked about December? Does this mean that y'all have the right person in Human Resource Director who makes wrong decisions without even getting to know the person or go through the superintendent who helps makes the decision? With me being a civic league president, and Mr. Jordan can attest because he was at our civic league meeting, we gave a $250 scholarship to a student at Norview. So I am towards the students. I am working towards the student. Not one time have I ever done anything wrong but go by the guideline book. With pupil personnel not calling me back when I asked her to, she did not call back. It lets me know we are in a cliquish situation and not a standard of professionalism. I was a quality assurance monitor, so I should know what is right and what is wrong. So I will still be awaiting for the Human Resource Director to give me the correct information that I know that should be done if someone writes you up and you do a rebuttal. A protocol is done upon those rebuttals. Him having the doctrine that he's supposed to have, he should be able to know that instead of giving me information that I had given. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Banks.
Mr. Jordan, we don't have any other speakers at this time.
Is there anyone else here that wanted to address the board that didn't have an opportunity to sign up or like to address the board now? All right. Thank you. Hearing none, we will move forward with our agenda. Next, we have our approval of the consent agenda. Is there any member of the board would like to have any item that's currently on the consent agenda pulled separately for action? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I have a second.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Doyle, seconded by Ms. Wagner. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Ms. Banks, if you call the roll, please.
Ms. Basine?
Aye.
Ms. Doyle?
Aye.
Dr. Gabriel?
Aye.
Reverend Haywood?
Aye.
Dr. Robinson? Ms. Wagner?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye. Next, we have our monthly financial reports. Dr. Boone.
Thank you. As Ms. Ingram makes her way to the podium, she'll be presenting the information for through the November 30th in terms of our financial reporting. So, welcome, Ms. Ingram.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Jordan, Dr. Gabriel, school board members, and Dr. Boone.
As Dr. Boone had mentioned, I will be briefly giving you the financial report for our 5th accounting period for this school year that ended November the 30th, 2017. Revenues received as of November the 30th was $113,756,000, or 35% of the total budget, and this compares with 40.2% for the same time period in fiscal year 2017 and 38.9% in 2016. As of November the 30th, our expenditures were a total of $111,683,000, or 34.3% of our budget. This compares to 35% for the same time period in fiscal year 2017 and 36.4% for fiscal year 2016. There were no budget transfers that were $50,000 or greater for this accounting period. And the second page is just a different presentation of information I shared, broken into different categories. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Ingram? Dr. Gabriel?
Ms. Ingram, as it regarding our title funds and schools being able to get their funding, are we on track with schools receiving their funds and being able to pay for personnel or items that are necessary as they've requested?
We are on track. A lot of the requests that comes from the schools have to first be approved by the State Department. And once the State Department has approved their request for transfers, then we can enter them into the system, and they will have access.
Okay. Within the documents here for classroom instruction, is the substitute funding and the long-term subs, is that the only area where monies would be found in our documents as far as monitoring how much we have in our substitute accounts?
I don't believe it's the only place within the document. Any program that has classroom teachers, there should be lines for substitutes.
Okay.
For instance, special ed should have money in their budget for substitutes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Any questions for Ms. Ingram? All right, Ms. Ingram, anything for us? Anything else?
Merry Christmas.
We accept that.
And I will add, once we've had a chance to look at the specifics of the governor's proposed budget, we will certainly update the board. Preliminary appears to be only re-benchmarking shows up in the proposal for public education, so we need to see what that looks like by district, so we'll keep you informed.
All right. Is there a motion for us to accept and approve the financial reports as presented?
I move we accept the financial reports as presented.
Have a second?
Second that motion, Mr. Jordan.
All right. Moved by Dr. Robinson, second by Reverend Haywood. Any further discussion on the monthly financial reports? Hearing none, Ms. Banks, if you call the roll.
Ms. Basine?
Aye.
Ms. Doyle?
Aye.
Dr. Gabriel?
Aye.
Reverend Haywood?
Aye.
Dr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Wagner?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye. Next on our agenda is our matters of the board. Item that we have before us this evening deals with the superintendent's contract. We know as a board we have certain core functions that we have responsibility for, being representatives of the community on the school board, developing, approving a budget, governing through policy, and then of course hiring a superintendent. And so we've had the fortune of having Dr. Boone with us now for 2 years, as she began in December of 15. And the board has been working together as a governance team with Dr. Boone. Since that time, we have gone through evaluations, set goals, worked on goals. And so what the board is considering tonight is an amendment to Dr. Boone's contract. Her current contract would end in 2019, and what we have before us is extending that contract by 1 year through June 30th of 2020. So do I have a motion from the board for us to act upon the amendment before us, and then if there's any further discussion, we can do so after we get a second.
Mr. Jordan, I move that we accept the amended budget before us.
Amended contract.
Amended contract, yes.
Second?
Thank you.
I second that motion.
Okay. Moved by Reverend Haywood, seconded by Ms. Brasine. Discussion amongst the board. Anyone like to discuss or have comment on the amendment of the contract? Okay, hearing none, then I'll call for the vote. Ms. Banks?
Ms. Basine?
Aye.
Ms. Doyle?
Aye.
Dr. Gabriel?
Aye.
Reverend Haywood?
Aye.
Dr. Robinson?
Aye.
Ms. Wagner?
Aye.
Mr. Jordan?
Aye. So I'd just like to thank the board and thank Dr. Boone for the work that we've been doing together. We started off earlier this evening dealing with a workshop with educational planning. If the board recalls, I think the moment Dr. Boone arrived, we gave her a list of items from alternative education to looking at our budgeting practices, and she mentioned earlier in terms of the rigor, and obviously number one for us is addressing academics, and so the work that she's been doing with the district leadership team and the student and school growth we've seen just in these short 2 years, I think is more than a testament to this action, and we're just pleased that we will continue to work together. Dr. Boone, any comment you'd like to add?
Well, I certainly want to thank the board for this vote of confidence and this extension. It has been rewarding work, and there's a lot more to be done to strengthen this school district and to continue to reestablish the public's confidence in this public school system here in Norfolk. And this is not work that I do alone, and I certainly want to show appreciation for the principals, all the teachers and the support staff, the various departments, and the central office staff who have embraced this turnaround model that we're putting in place, not just for student achievement, but for our overall operations. And so we look forward to this journey continuing and greater results to come. So thank you very much.
Yeah. And lastly, I'll just mention that, as a board, we did Dr. Boone's contract a little differently than we had done contracts in the past, and really made it a performance-based contract. And so I want to just like to again thank the board for taking that action and for Dr. Boone to be open to agreeing to that type of arrangement. So I think it's a good team that we have, and we know we have a great deal of work before us. And so I just want to thank everyone for that hard work as we finish this calendar year and prepare to go into the new year. Is there any other matters of the board that anyone would like to bring forward at this time? Everybody's cold?
Yep.
All right. So we thank the city for cutting the heat off early. And
The heating bill, Ms. Ingram.
so with that, we will consider our meeting adjourned, and we just encourage everyone to have a great holiday break and come back renewed and refreshed in January. Good night.